in response to these massive changes, Africans have begun to express their pride all around Africa and have organized themselves into groups such as the Pan-African Congress and the African National Congress.
Many women in Western Africa have organized themselves into groups to gain more rights for themselves.
They were upset at British rule and oppressive laws.
Also, the Africans have demanded more rights from the African National Congress, who are trying to invade their lands.
Action.
Speaking of Nigeria, many women there have begun to riot because of unfair laws and wishing to gain more rights as well.
Yes, this has become a real problem as many of Nigeria's markets have been closed down because of lack of workers.
Many are beginning to call this a women's war, which appears to quickly be turning into a full-scale riot.
Yeah, many people use these riots as a reason to believe that the African people are savages and have no place in their native homeland.
Speaking of homelands, in South Africa, W.E.B. Du Bois is currently fighting to gain more rights in his country and for the blacks around the world. We have a totally real news reporter on the scene in South Africa at this moment.
I'm Montana Smith, here from all the way over in South Africa. So, currently the apartheid has forced all of the black people in South Africa to live on that side of this very large and scary fence. And they're separated from the white people. As you can see, these homes over here, they're very run down, almost inhabitable for life. There's also a very large desert system in South Africa, as you can see right over here with all this dry ground.
And can you inform us on how the people are reacting to European control?
Well, you see here, the government is run primarily by whites, so they're not too happy about Du Bois' movement to end South African prejudice, but they're also not happy about the African National Congress and how the blacks are trying to join together to gain more rights. They've issued an official statement saying that they will not do anything to get rid of the segregation policies currently in place.
Next, we have a totally real news correspondent to give us a second opinion on the apartheid, Mr. John Sinu.
Thank you, Remy. The apartheid is a very influential thing. It is currently affecting the lives of millions of people in South Africa, all along the continent. It is unfair that people are being segregated and stereotyped due to skin texture. It's an uncontrollable trait people are born with. People need more rights that make them treated more equally and fairly. Otherwise, it's wrong.
Okay, so it looks like John is a bit busy at the moment. We'll come back to him. Egypt at the moment, due to its lack of improvements after World War I, has begun revolting against Britain in attempts to remove its oppressive rule over the economy and culture. Things appear to be looking up as the British are backing off from the violence and considering leaving Egypt to itself.
People in Africa are just being ridiculous. I recently just saw a man steal another man's seat just because of his color. I mean, who does that?
And that concludes this report.